Shout of sports. It is Friday, the best day of the week, Friday, and we are here to talk about the sports that you know and love, the sports that you care about more than anything. This is Shout of Sports. I'm here with Chris Pittner. We're your normal host. Jalen is out today at work. I will be hosting your Fridays, hopefully, very often. So this is gonna be fun. We've done these before. Chris, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. I've been busy today. Had a job interview this morning. Hit the gym after that. It's been a good day.
How'd the interview go, bro?
It's good. Hopefully I can get the job, but it's gonna be tough. There's a lot of stiff competition out there, as all journalism people know.
There's always is, bro. Hey, everybody subscribe and hit the like button and pray that Chris gets this job because we're rooting for him on this show and we love him. So subscribe and like and hit the like button, please. Look, we're gonna be talking about some good stuff. We got some good stuff that came out yesterday. We got football coming up. Mini camp is coming up next week. TJ Watt just got signed. Dame back in Portland, and we got some NBA free agency winners and losers that we're gonna give our opinions on. But before we get into all that, I'm gonna introduce you guys to David. David, how we doing today, man? I know, hey,
Good.
David is he has a lot of knowledge in the sports, basketball, baseball, football, you name it. Doesn't matter what it is. He's here today to join us and talk a little bit about football to start off. And David, how you been doing, man?
Doing really well, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate coming on here. And I also just wanted to say, good luck on that job interview, Chris. I hope it went really, really well. Was it like a broadcasting role or a radio role, or what kind of interview was it?
It was for producing.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Localized or?
In Madison.
Nice. All right. Well, good luck, man.
Hey, that's a good market to get into, bro. That's one of the bigger markets in the state, especially since it's the capital. So good luck with that.
Yeah,
And
fingers crossed, obviously.
absolutely. Hey, we're gonna start off today, guys. We're gonna start off today with elite wide receivers. Now, we were talking about this yesterday. Okay, I sent the photo in the group chat, and this is what the photo was. We got Kevin Clark. He has NFL wide receiver tiers. The Moss level. This is a completely different. This is S tier. Okay, Chase and Jefferson, undebatable. No one can tell me otherwise. No one can tell us otherwise. Okay, elite. This is where things get kind of chippy. AJ Brown, obviously, Super Bowl champion. I would personally put Devontae Smith there too. I know he doesn't get a lot of shine. We got Lamb, got CD Lamb, Puka Nacua, St. Brown. We got Nico Collins. We're gonna get into that. We got Tyreek Hill, almost elite. Okay, Garrett Wilson, Brian Thomas Jr., and Malik Neighbors. Now, guys, what I want you to look at this guy.
And he's got the Jamar Chase
Don't
jersey
make
on.
me do it. Don't make me get it. Don't make me get Keenan Allen. Don't make me do this, bro. Okay, anyway, I'll keep it this way. Listen, guys, we got this photo right here, and I want to hear your guys' opinions. What do we think about this, and what would you change? What would you add? What would you subtract? Chris, I'll start off with you, man.
So I'm not going to stand for this Devontae Adams erasure. I still think he could be in the almost elite category at minimum. I also think Nico Collins is slightly unproven to the point where he's going to be in that top 7 category. I still think I'd put Tyreek Hill over him, and I'd even put Malik Neighbors over him. He was just so quarterback handicapped last year. He's incredibly tough as a receiver. I think he's going to make his way into that category if he stays healthy this year.
Anything you would add or change? Anyone you would take off? I mean,
I personally, I agree with what you said, Chris. I do think we need to see a couple more seasons from Nico Collins. I will say, though, I feel like the Texans overall, in terms of like top 3 guys, probably had, before Tank Dell's injury, the best wide receiver core in the league last year. Because you look, I mean, Stephon Diggs was producing. Collins was one of the best X receivers in the league last year. And then Tank Dell was very, very good as well. So to put up those type of numbers with honestly guys that could probably be wide receiver 1s or 2s in other offensive systems, I think I have to assume that's the reason for Collins being in the elite tier. But, I mean, honestly, I could see any of those 4 guys being above Collins as well. But I personally think that Garrett Wilson should probably be swapped with one of those guys. If you want to talk about quarterback handicaps, that man has already had like 6 or 7 guys, and you look at some of the names that he's had to deal with, and it's poverty, man. It's poverty, man. And he came in. He came in and won Offensive Rookie of the Year with Zach Wilson as his primary quarterback, and they had like Joe Flacco, Tim Boyle,
Trevor Siemian.
Oh my God, dude! It is crazy, man. So I'm glad that he's getting his respect, and we'll see how he does this year. I feel like this year is going to be a little interesting for Wilson because he did just get. You're talking about extensions. Garrett Wilson got a huge extension as well. 4 years, 130 million, 90 million guaranteed. So we'll see if he still is motivated to produce at that like elite level after getting a precedenting setting contract.
Now, I'll have to agree with Chris that Davante Adams, the slander on his name after last year is baffling to me. I know he was on the Raiders and went to the Jets, but when he was on the Jets, he still looked like one of the best receivers in the league. And we're going to see this year with his new team in LA on the Rams. I wish it was the Chargers, but he's on the Rams instead, which is fine. And no Cooper Kupp. He has Puka Nacua next to him. He's mentoring him. They both could still be very much elite wide receivers. I would have to add him on there. And
I think, sorry to interrupt you, another name. Where's Terry McLaurin?
See, that's another one. And my one is this. I think Mike Evans should be on the elite list. Now, this is the reason. Consecutive years, he's an instant Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer that no one likes.
Oh, no question.
No question. No one likes to talk about. He has a ring already. He has nothing left to prove. He's one of the best wide receivers we have ever seen. And in our generation, I feel like he has to be top 5 wide receivers. Not in the 2010s or anything like that, but like coming into the 2020s, into our adulthood, I feel like this is one of our best receivers that we have had growing up. Now, Mike Evans, he has a lot of disrespect towards him. I don't know. I don't understand why. Maybe because he's not flashy, but he's a bigger wide receiver. He catches everything. As you can see, 1,000 yards every season in his career, besides maybe one, I think his rookie year, something like that. But I think he should be in the elite class based off of that. I think I would move Nico Collins down to almost elite because I don't think he's that elite yet. I had him in my fantasy team last year, and I thought he was great. But, injury prone, that counts for something, in my opinion. So that I would move him down there. And also, yeah, like you said, Terry McLaurin. I don't know what people have against Terry McLaurin and why he doesn't get the recognition he does. But to say he's not at least almost elite, I feel like is disrespectful. Plus, he's still very young.
Part of his problem, I think, was he was also QB handicapped for the longest time, and he finally had a competent quarterback throwing him the ball last year, and we saw what can happen. He's an extreme deep threat, especially on like Hail Mary type plays. He can make something out of nothing.
Yeah, man. I don't think anyone can dispute the Chase and Jefferson being in Moss, but is there any one other wide receiver that you could put in that Moss realm right now, or not even close?
I think Lamb has the potential to get there if he can have steady quarterback play. Lamb catches everything. He has such a wide catch radius. One of my favorite Instagram accounts, Amazon Next Gen Stats, goes into like all the nerd shit that I love. And they said that in 2023, I believe it was, no receiver since in like a decade created more average like separation per catch than CeeDee Lamb on catches for more than like 2 yards or something like that.
He's wild.
Yeah, he's great.
He is. I'm really excited to see him with a legitimate wide receiver too now with Pickens. That's just going to open up so much for him.
Oh.
And
David, you're gonna like this one. Look, we were going back and forth on this.
Yeah, I was gonna say to somebody didn't. I'm a huge JSN guy, man. I think personally, and now this might be a bit of a hot take, but I think JSN is the best receiver from that 2022 Ohio State receiver room.
Ooh.
That had
Wilson, Olave, JSN, Marvin Harrison, and Ibuka. Honestly, that might be the best college receiver room ever. If they had all
the Chase and Jefferson room are right up there with each other.
I can't put him above Wilson, but everyone else, yeah, Olave, he's great.
Here's the thing, though. Garrett Wilson himself has even said, like, I remember there was a podcast that I think it was like Wilson, Olave, and JSN were on, and it literally even they all said that JSN was going to be the best out of the three of them. Like coming from their own mouths. I remember, oh man, I was when Michigan played Ohio State in 2021. He made one of the sickest catches I ever seen. He pinned the ball off the side of a DB's helmet and held onto it. It wouldn't have been a catch in the NFL, but dude, such a crisp route runner. He's got electrifying speed. He's a little bit smaller, but he catches everything, man.
And this guy right here, hey, our boy Jalen's watching. Shout out Jalen, but is DJ more elite? I don't think so.
I don't think he deserves to be. I don't think he's a bad receiver. However,
I think he's okay.
If we're looking at these names,
Pro Bowler 2 years ago, his first year in Chicago, he should have been a Pro Bowler. I'll say that.
If we're looking at these names here, though, he just does not fit in that tier. I would put him in like a Cortland Sutton, George Pickens type tier, maybe like a tad lower than like a DK Metcalf potentially. Like Brandon Ayuk when he's healthy could be in that tier.
That's why it's a good debate, just because I think the receiver position is easily the deepest in all of football. Like you have like probably 30 to 40 guys that are Pro Bowl level.
It's crazy because some of them are on the same teams. Like T. Higgins, we haven't even talked about T. Higgins at all either. Chris Godwin, I know he was injured a lot last year. We didn't mention him at all.
He was on track to have like 1,400 yards last year before he got hurt. It was insane.
Look,
yeah, and
go ahead.
Gosh, I'm blanking. What if MHJ takes a massive step this year? He was regarded higher than Brian Thomas for like all of the draft process before last season. Then Brian Thomas just had an insane year. Yeah.
I have faith that he will become almost elite this year. I think that Marvin Harrison is unbelievable. I think Kyler Murray just wasn't throwing his way last year, which is very odd to me. Because Marvin Harrison
last year. Well, that probably had something to do with it.
What was that?
I said him and Trey McBride have a crush on each other, so that probably had something to do with it.
I mean,
as a Trey McBride fan, as a Trey McBride fantasy owner, I had nothing against him.
I mean, he didn't score. He only scored one touchdown, but like the dude had like almost 1,000 yards. I'm pretty sure, but he was crazy. But Marvin Harrison, I mean, if he could just work on his strength a little bit, which he has, as pictures and stuff like that on the internet, I mean, he could start pushing people around because he's a big guy, dude. He's like 6'3", I'm pretty sure 6'2", something like that. And as a wide receiver, that's just big. But he I have faith that he'll break out this season. And I was gonna say this is what I was gonna ask you guys. This is my next question for you guys. For Travis Hunter, obviously he's not elite right now, but would you, even before taking a snap in the NFL, would you put him at almost elite? Because he can play both sides at a very high level. We've seen it, but he hasn't done it yet. But where will you put him right now? Would you put him at the almost or the almost elite?
I would put him probably right at the end of tier 3, just because we haven't seen it yet. I don't think Travis Hunter is overrated as a receiver, but I don't think he deserved the Biletnikoff Award this year. He wasn't top 5, or he wasn't top 3 in any of the main receiver categories. I have no problem with him winning Heisman, but in terms of the pure Biletnikoff Award, I think there was a lot better choices, such as Nick Nash from San Jose State, who literally set a record. I mean, it's a smaller school, but he led in yards, touchdowns, and yards per reception. So I personally think Travis is right now, I'd say he's probably a better corner than he is a receiver.
Absolutely.
But he's a lot more polished on that side of the ball.
Yeah.
But I will say, like you said, it was a smaller school, so that's probably why they didn't give it to him. I hate to say it.
No, of course,
It sucks like that, especially in college. I hate that rule. Like, it's not even a rule. It's just like a known thing. Like, if you're at a smaller school and you get all these stats, you're bound to play lesser competition. Yeah. And they're not going to give it to you. You know what I mean? So
we saw that even though he won a lot of accolades this year, Genty was like being called overrated by a lot of different people because he went to Boise State, even though he's rushing for 3 touchdowns and 200 yards every other game, pretty much.
I would say his playoff performance when he, when they had that bye week that it was very controversial. When he played in that playoff game in the playoffs, he proved that he is not overrated. He was shedding every
he had a
snap.
really
He
good
had like 9 guys in the box on him every single play, and he was still able to scrap 5-10 yards a couple times.
I mean, well, look, dude, I played running back for like all my life, and if you get 4 yards a carry, I mean, do the math, bro. You're at first down by third. The third time you carry the ball, you're good. That's great. So, I mean, even 9 guys. I mean, just imagine them behind an NFL O line. I mean, I know it's the Raiders, and it's not great, but at least they have something. You know, Josh Jacobs did great with the Raiders. I'm sure Genty will do even better.
Well, now with Geno too, like
Exactly.
I feel like they're gonna have to try to respect the short down completions more now that they have like a legitimate quarterback. I mean, Geno's not like he's not like an elite guy, but I mean he's been very willing to air it out. He was, I think, second or third in the league in passing yards.
Yep.
A lot of passing attempts. So I feel like that's going to make it a little bit harder for them to just stack the box now that they don't have like Aiden O'Connell back there.
And one more quick question for you guys, okay? I have like 5 wide receivers here. You can write them down real quick if you don't remember them. Now, I have Devontae Smith as an elite wide receiver.
I agree. I agree.
I don't care what anyone says.
I don't know. I don't see it, but
I agree.
But my question is why? He's a number 2 wide receiver, but he's really 1B. If you really think about it, I don't think Jalen Hurts gives him enough touches for him to look elite, but he's elite. He showed it in the Super Bowl. And he showed up when it matters. That's all he does.
I agree. I think he's the second best wide receiver too in the league after Higgins.
I think he's better than him personally.
I think T. Higgins should be on this chart somewhere, but he's not because he's, like you said, like he's a wide receiver too. I think the problem with the Eagles overall is they just have so many mouths to feed on that offense. They got Saquon, who's the best back in the NFL. They got AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert. I mean, they even go to their like wide receiver 3 and 4 a decent amount sometimes too. And it's just, I think Smith is going to be better this year because he was a bit underwhelming at times last year just because he wasn't getting the touches that he probably deserved. And I believe he was injured at 1.2 in the early stretch of the season.
I like Devontae Smith a lot. I mean, as a tall guy that is like 50 pounds soaking wet, I really relate with Devontae Smith because that dude, I'm pretty sure I'm like his exact height and weight. He's like 6'2", like 160, 170. That's like pretty much what I am. And like I see a guy like that who looks like he could like blow over if a gust of wind comes, and he's one of the best like catching receivers in the league. Like that dude, I don't think I've ever seen that dude drop a ball. And for someone who has such like a small frame, and you'd think he wouldn't be able to create much separation, like he gets up there, man. Like it's crazy. If you're talking about big body guys, though, nobody mentioned. I want to throw out Drake. I'm a really big fan of Drake London.
Okay.
I think London is a really.
I think he's approaching.
I wonder though.
And it about a good year last year, but I think he's gonna inch toward like maybe the tier below almost elite next year.
Okay. I like that.
I think that's fair. I think that's
fair.
I just
about
don't.
These receivers here. I got Chris Godwin, Brandon Ayuk, when healthy, and then Jalen Waddle, Ladd McConkey, and DK Metcalf. I want your opinion on these guys, and then we can move on.
I'm a big Waddle guy. I like Waddle a lot. I think last year was a bit of an anomaly. I mean, Tua missed some time as well. But I mean, if you want to talk about pure speed, man, you give that guy the ball in space, he's gone. I'm pretty sure I don't want to say it without knowing, but he's got to be like at like either the fastest or like second fastest receiver in the league.
He was the second fastest. Yeah, he was for sure second.
But
my guy that I think next to Devontae Smith that a lot of people don't mention is Chris Godwin. I think he's absolutely unreal when he's healthy. And he's like a fantasy steal for me every single year. I just love his game so much. I hate that he gets injured so much because he's so special. But
in the weeks that he played last year, which was only like 6 of them, I believe.
He was second best in the league.
I want to say he was wide receiver 1 fantasy. Now I know fantasy doesn't translate to real life necessarily, but
yeah, you're absolutely correct. I had him, and he was
up 21 points a game. It was ridiculous.
He was rivaling Nico Collins in every aspect.
The way he got hurt was so dumb too. Like that game against the Ravens was already over, and he was just Baker was just stat padding, and Bowles had all the starters out there, even though they were down by like 10 points.
Yeah, it's a shame, but that's just how it is. I guess some people just like to try to run up the score a little bit, but. Look, guys, that was a great conversation. We're going to move on, keep it NFL a little bit. for a little while. As we move on to this next topic, we're gonna do 2-1. TJ Watt signing and Dame back in Portland. What is that all about? Now we're gonna start off with TJ Watt, and this is obviously the list of highest paid non-QBs in NFL history, and TJ Watt now takes the reign over Jamar Chase, which is very interesting because we have a Jamar Chase fan right here. As you guys know, we have a Bengal fan here, David. Now, I want to start with you with this, David.
Sure.
This guy, TJ, is in your division, and he's arguably, I think, the best. I don't know. Him and Myles Garrett are neck and neck, but TJ, you can put him at 1A or 1B. He's the best defender in the league on any given week. Okay, but you have Jamar Chase right there behind him, and Myles Garrett there behind him, and you obviously see the rest of these guys here as well. What is your thoughts on this, and do you think he deserves it over Jamar Chase?
Well, I just want to say, first of all, and I admit this is a bit of a biased take, but I personally think Trey Hendrickson is the best edge right now. He had 17 and a half sacks. He led the league in sacks, and he was third in pressures despite not having a competent edge on the other side. So I think you got to throw his name. I definitely think he's better than Garrett right now. If you want to say Watt's better, I respect that, but I love this. I mean, I hate it for our division, but I am a huge respecter of TJ Watt, man. I mean, everyone thought that he was going to lose a step after that big injury in 2021, came back next year, had 11 and a half sacks, I believe, despite only playing like 13, 14 games. His quick first step, his first move is like, it's you wouldn't think somebody that big should be able to move like he moves, but I just think I was looking at the Bleacher Report article, and I think it's like, I mean, obviously this is a guy you have to pay, but
Absolutely.
he hasn't won a playoff game yet, and that's like so crazy to me. Like, he's like, my ultimate goal is to win a playoff game. I was like, damn, they've had you sent for what? Well, since like 2018, 2017, and they still haven't won a playoff game.
It's just like his brother, man. JJ
I
didn't
think
win one
this
for
says
years.
more about the Steelers than it does about him, though.
I agree.
Yeah. No, but I mean, I think this, like, we already saw the edge market get completely reset this year with the Myles Garrett, the Max Crosby deals. Nick Bosa kind of was a benchmark for that. I believe that was last year. So I'm not surprised at all about this. But, I mean, it's a front-loaded contract as well. Like, the least amount of guarantees are in the final year of the deal. So I think the Steelers not only obviously established the core piece of their defense for the next couple of years, but also did a good job of protecting themselves if he gets hurt again. So I mean, this is a no-brainer, and I hate it, but it's exactly what they needed to do.
Trust me, man. I felt the same way when they signed Max Crosby to that deal. I hated it so much. But go ahead, Chris. I want to hear your thoughts on how do you feel about this TJ Watt signing, and do you think he deserves it over all these guys?
I also hate it for a different reason, because I wanted him to get traded to us because I'm delusional in
Packer
Green
fan, by
Bay.
the way.
You know, yeah, reunion, of course. The one Packer fan out of the three of us, which, you know, but I think if Pittsburgh wanted to maintain any semblance of a contention window where they're still winning games, making the playoffs, because you never know what can happen in a one-off. This is exactly what they needed to do, and front-loaded contracts are the best way to do it, because you don't know what's going to happen when someone signs a massive deal. If you can get most of the guaranteed money out of the way right away, it's definitely the right way to do it.
Now, I want to talk about TJ Watt for a second because I have a great story about this guy. So when I was in fifth grade, a little bit of history lesson here. I was fifth grade. I moved out here to Pewaukee, Wisconsin, and that is exactly where TJ Watt was when he was a senior in high school. I was in fifth grade, and he came to our classroom, talked to us about nonsense. It was about life or whatever. We didn't care. We were in fifth grade. Great guy. Great man. I met JJ more than I met him because of football, and JJ was older and, you know, had nothing to prove. So he just kept coming back after, you know, we would win some games and make the playoffs and stuff, give us some speeches. Now, when I look at film on JJ and TJ, obviously Derek's a fullback, so he doesn't really count in this situation, but TJ and JJ, their film, they play very similar, but TJ's a little bit faster. JJ's just way stronger than him. JJ Watt made $123.5 million in his career for his career earnings. And TJ just signed what, 170 something mil for for 3 years or something like
I
that.
think
4
it was
years.
3 years,
123
$130 million. Yeah. 100, yeah.
So yeah, sorry,
He
overdriven a
made
little
the
bit.
exact same amount that JJ made his whole career in one contract.
Right.
I think
So
that says more about the inflation of contracts and the players themselves, because JJ was an absolute beast.
right. So I'm not
Undisputed
saying
top defensive player as well.
I'm not saying that TJ doesn't deserve it, but wow, I mean, it's a lot of money, especially for the Steelers to spend on someone that they never won a playoff game with, like you said. And I love TJ Watt. I think he's probably my favorite defender next to Myles Garrett in the league right now, and Khalil Mack. But I just think I think it's a little bit pushing it. I think they could have got him down to maybe just 40 mil. I think, or 40.2 or something like that, like Jamar. But I don't know, man. Maybe something a little less, in my opinion, just to save a little bit of cap room, because you're gonna need it. I mean, this team is pretty old right now. I'm pretty sure. I think they're one of the old. I think they are the oldest team in the league currently, and especially defensively, I should say. I know that for a fact. But yeah,
Not
man.
to mention their 40-year-old quarterback.
Yeah, and the GOAT Aaron Rodgers is on their team.
Cam Hayward's not that far, but Hayward's like 37. Highsmith's getting up there.
Man. I mean, it's just, and what they just got rid of Minka, got Jalen Ramsey, who's what, 30 something.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it, but I just think we gotta do a better job at negotiating these, because the team's gonna suffer eventually. I mean, kudos to TJ. I mean, him and his agent took him a while to get it. That's the thing about NFL too. It takes so long for deals to happen in the NFL, like compared to the NBA, because yards and stuff, all that stuff. The stats in NFL is just a little bit more. I feel like they're deeper than the NBA, and it's a little bit harder to pinpoint where you're going to pay these guys because of all those crazy stats that pop up. So, I mean, kudos to TJ, and I think that he's well deserved. But I want to ask you guys these questions too. Out of all of these guys on this list that are listed right here for the highest paid non-QBs in NFL history, this includes TJ and Jamar Chase. Which guy on this list you guys think that deserves it the most, or maybe even deserves more?
Instantly, Justin Jefferson just pops out to me. I think you're talking like about like compared to the NBA. It's so funny when you compare NBA and NFL contracts. Justin Jefferson is making Jordan Poole money.
Unbelievable.
That's wild.
He has the exact same contract as my boy, light skin legend, but I just think that's so funny to think about, just like the difference between NBA and NFL salary caps. But yeah, I mean, especially when you consider that Jefferson wasn't even like a surefire wide receiver one when he came out of college. Like he wasn't even the first receiver drafted. I mean, I feel like there's not even much more that needs to be said about it. I mean, it's Justin Jefferson.
I mean, Jalen Reagor was drafted before him.
Jalen Reagor at TCU, yeah, a pick before.
Well, how much do you think JJ should make?
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that the salary cap situation is different. I just think it's funny comparatively to look at if you're comparing the sports. But I don't know if they can honestly afford to pay him right now, because this is a time for the Vikings where they are in a very interesting position because their quarterback's really cheap, all the weapons around Jefferson outside of Hawkinson are relatively cheap as well. So all that money needs to be spent into improving the secondary. They had one of the worst secondaries in the league last year, and trying to make McCarthy's situation as good as possible. But I mean, I definitely think Jefferson deserves to be paid similarly to Jamar.
Chris, go ahead.
I think CD is right on the same level with those two pretty much too. So I think it's definitely those guys, and maybe Max Crosby. I think Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, and TJ Watt are the undisputed top three best defensive players in the league. Daniel Hunter is another really good DN too, but I think Crosby is at least a little bit better than he is. I think a lot of this just comes down to when they sign the contract, because every year we break the record for the highest blank ever, like the highest wide receiver ever, the highest defensive player ever. It keeps breaking over and over and over. So you can't even really say that these guys are underpaid. It's just they're resetting the market for when their time is up.
Yeah, see, I agree with you, Chris. Man, I'm telling you, man, I would put in terms of defensive players, I would you call me biased, but I'd put Hendrickson above anyone on this list except for probably Watt.
Anyone?
Like, any defensive player, yeah. I mean, he just
even Bosa. You put him over Bosa and Crosby.
Right now, yes. I'm not saying like we'll see if he's able to repeat it, but I mean, we had 3 different guys lining up on the other side of the edge, and he was still able to be top 3 in quarterback pressures and lead the league in sacks with basically no other defensive help, not in the front 7 or on the edge. Like
I completely agree with you. You know, I completely agree that he deserves a huge contract. It's just the fact that Max Crosby is doing this on such a bad team, dude. And
Malcolm Kuntz is super rated.
No, I agree. It's just the fact that like he's been on the Raiders his entire career, and like, but Hendrickson was on that Super Bowl team, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself like, okay, I'm thinking about situational stuff, okay,
right.
Max Crosby is on the Las Vegas, used to be Oakland Raiders, and they have never been good while he's there. Besides maybe 1 year with
there was 1 year where they were passable.
Yeah, they were second in the division, the AFC West, and they beat the Chargers out for a playoff spot. That's the only year they barely made it. And they barely made it. So they've never really been that great while he's on that team. And I'm thinking to myself, like, bro, Max Crosby, I think he's like 40 mil level, in my opinion. I don't 38 maybe.
Yeah.
38 at the least. Okay. Now Nick Bosa, I think that's perfect for him because he's been on this stacked team his entire career. So he's had he's
injured all the time.
Right, that too. He has way more leeway because that D line was unbelievable at one point. It was Greenlaw
and shut up time for him this year though. The 49ers have lost a lot of talent the last couple of years.
This is the year of him to really prove that contract was worth it, in my opinion. Nick Bosa, we're talking about, but I don't know if I could put Hendrickson above Max Crosby. Everybody else, Danielle Hunter, I don't think Danielle Hunter deserves that much personally. Nick Bosa,
Danielle Hunter's really only had one like really, really good year, but I am bracing myself because I do think we probably extend him, but he's probably gonna be in between Garrett and Hunter in terms of what he gets. And
you guys
talking about Hendrickson?
Yeah, and if it's not from us, it's gonna be from somewhere else. But he's definitely gonna get probably around like 37 to 40 million. He said before that he's not looking to reset the market, but I mean that's what a lot of guys say, and then they end up resetting the market.
I mean, do you guys have the money too? That's my last question for you, real quick.
We definitely have the money. We have 30. We have I believe we have 39 in cap. So we
spending.
Really?
I think it is. Okay. I mean, if we don't, I mean, we have a couple of young guys. One of them still hasn't signed his contract, but I mean, I'm a big Miles Murphy guy. I was huge on him out of Clemson. We took him the first round 2 years ago. He was former top 5 recruit. I like him a lot, and I mean, if we can sign Shamar Stewart, this might sound like a crazy take, but like statistically by like RAS and Combine, it is true. He's the most athletic edge rusher of all time. Like he has like literally the best Combine stats, the best RAS score. He is the most physically gifted edge rusher ever in terms of like it's like saying Anthony Richardson's the most athletic quarterback of all time. It sounds weird, but then like you look at this like everything and like the measurements and everything, but like but like he's barely any college production. And he hasn't even signed yet. So if we don't re-sign him, then there's going to be hell to pay because we're going to have the worst defensive line in the league. Like, I think by a good margin, too.
Now, Chris, this is my last question to you. You said that you wanted TJ Watt to come to the Packers.
No, he said Crosby, I'm pretty sure, right?
Was it Crosby or
any of them? Any of the options. Honestly, I would probably want Crosby more just because of the cheaper contract.
I thought that he was going to get traded to the Packers.
And he's a little younger, too.
Yeah, he's young and he's gifted. I don't know how he does it, but he's just unreal. But him on the Packers, it was a big thing last year before the trade deadline. I was thinking either him, Max Crosby to the Lions or the Packers, one of them, because they were pushing for him. I heard that they were pushing for him. I know the Lions were for sure, but the Packers, I would assume that they were trying to push for him when the Raiders kind of put it out there that he was on the trade market because they were kind of in hell still. But yeah, but like that's our show me the money section for TJ Watt. Now we're gonna move on to real quick.
Before we move on really quick,
Go
I
ahead.
want to say that I never really saw Goody, our GM, ever making a move like that, just because
not.
he's another one of those guys that kind of moves in silence, like
Yeah.
how John Horst does with the Bucks,
true.
where it's
That's
just
true.
it pops out of nowhere. Like I had no idea that we were signing Josh Jacobs last year, and all of a sudden, poof, here he is,
He's
or
good at
Xavier McKinney. However, he doesn't take, like, in trades at least, he's never really taken a big swing per se like that. That's not really his style. He likes to build through the draft and free agency, not through trades. So
That's kind of how Horst is too, I feel like. Well, no, Horst is more free agency.
Horst loves free agency and trades, and I
Yeah.
guess we'll get into that a little bit more with our next segment.
Now this is interesting, fellas. Damian Lillard back to Portland? Now, when I first saw this, I thought it was cap. I didn't think it was true. I didn't think he would go back to Portland. I didn't see any reason for him to go back. I thought he was going to go to Miami or the Celtics even, as they were pushing for him to come there and be a contender when Tatum and him comes back from their respective Achilles injuries. Now, what is the Trailblazers kind of got off, if you think about it. They traded Damian Lillard to get assets, get trades, or get picks and get other players, younger players, just to get him back 2 years later, 3 years later, with all the young assets surrounding him, including Scoot. They got Denny Advia. They got
Shaden Sharp, I really like.
Shaden Sharp. They got
Klingon, Hansen Yang.
They have all these. They still have
really nice.
Milwaukee's picks. So like, this is
which
big
could
news.
be very valuable in a few years.
Right.
It's crazy too, because like I was pissed when they first traded him, because in my opinion, and I know this probably isn't a crazy thing to say, but I think they probably traded Dame too late. I think they probably should have traded him like a year and a half, 2 years before they did.
A little year before. It would have been way better.
I remember because they had Norman Powell,
Yep.
and when they traded Norman Powell, they traded like Gary Trent Jr. and a first-round pick and everything like that, and then they traded him to the Clippers and got – I don't even remember who they got. They got like Keon Johnson and like a couple G-leaguers and stuff, and I was like, this is like a complete mismanagement of assets, because if you to trade a first-round pick and Gary Trent for a guy that you move a year and a half later for basically nothing because you wanted to try to put a more competitive team around Dame is just bad management. So, I mean, when I see – I mean, it's like the young core they have now is great, but I'm just thinking what it would be like if they would have gotten like 2 or 3 more first-round picks if they would have traded him in like 2023. Or, I'm sorry, 2022.
What I'm surprised about is that Miami never made a move for him, because those two, like Miami and Dame, always kind of seem like the likely destination. And there was just a report that came out like within the last – since we started that Dame – was actually he didn't want to go to Milwaukee to begin with, and he was very reluctant to come here. It took some convincing by his agent. So I'm not really surprised by that. And I think just him going somewhere else, it sucks that it didn't work out with the Bucks. The Blazers are in a really good spot moving forward. The problem is they're in the West. So I don't really know how much after this year he's going to help them besides being like a veteran presence. He's still going to be a good player most likely, but I don't really see how much this really helps them in the context of the standings. And the first thought I had was just good for him because he gets to be home again, be with his kids, which is really the most important thing.
Now, Blazers.
I don't know. I mean, it's basically a 1-year contract because you think he's going to miss the first year. Then you got the second year. Third year's it's a player option. So depending on if he opts into that or not, it's basically a guaranteed 1-year deal. And I mean, it's a really good move for the city and everything. Obviously, he's a franchise legend, probably. I'd have to look at the list of Trailblazers, but he's definitely one of the greatest Trailblazers ever. But it feels like more of like a feel good thing more than anything right now. Chris, you were asking why you're talking about the Miami thing. Joe Cronin probably made that almost impossible. That's the Blazers GM. They originally wanted Tyler Hero. and a bunch of other assets. But I remember when Pat Riley and them were originally trying to facilitate that trade, that whole saga where Dame was like, he requested a trade and he said he only wanted to go to Miami. Joe Cronin came out and said that we are not trading you to Miami unless we're like blown away by the offer and everything like that. And apparently they wanted like Bam. He asked for Bam or some like crazy stuff like that. So I don't know if that would have happened regardless, but Portland's front office kind of made that impossible to get the Miami move done.
When Miami is so tough too, because like they value their young players so much.
Yeah.
We saw that in the Kevin. I thought that they should have also made the Kevin Durant move this year, just
that
because
That one was crazy. Yeah.
Nikola Jovic and like Haywood Highsmith.
I don't know what they were thinking. Why
all those, they're like,
the
these guys
East
are
is so wide open this year. I don't know. They could have made that move, and it would have catapulted them way up the standings in the East with that big three that they would have had.
Yeah,
but
no East competition really compared to last year and the year
Right.
before, especially. I mean,
The only guys I'm not trading if I'm Miami are Bam Adebayo and Khalil Ware. I think those are the only two untouchable guys. I mean,
you trade Hero?
for Kevin Durant, probably. I mean,
I don't know if they would have had to at this stage. I think they could have gotten away with trading some of those other younger guys, but they didn't.
They
didn't.
probably could have done like Rozier, a couple picks, and then a combination of Highsmith, Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic, and been able to not trade Hero. But they have these mid-ass role players that they think are untouchable and everything. Like, I've been waiting for Nikola Jovic to break out for like the past like 3 seasons and everything. The Kevin Durant move pissed me off way more than the Dame one did, because I feel like that was very, very possible, and he would have fit so well next to Bam as well.
Oh yeah, they would have been very good together.
They're another one of those teams, Miami is. Sorry that we're getting off topic, but they're kind of in basketball purgatory right now. I don't really know what they're trying to do. Like, are they trying to win? Are they trying to tank? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, they have win now guys like Hero and Bam on their roster, but then they also have these young developing guys like Khalil Ware, like you said, David.
I love
And,
Khalil Ware. I think
really
he's
It's just
really
they're
good.
I do
just
think
not.
that- Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
They're not good enough, and they're one of those teams in the East where it kind of feels like they don't have a direction right now, and I just don't know what they're trying. Like, them, the Bull. We always make the jokes about like the Hawks, the Bulls, and the Heat always being the
Playing
three playing
Warriors,
teams.
baby.
I gotta give the Hawks credit because they finally made some
Oh,
moves.
they had a fantastic offseason.
They made some moves, and I think they're gonna vault up the standings. It's Miami and Chicago that I think are just really staying put. And
Been saying this for years, man. Like David
Well,
just said.
I'll say this about Miami though. I love the Norman Powell trade. They basically got Norman Powell for nothing.
Yeah,
They
I love it.
basically got Norman Powell for nothing. And on paper, a lot of stuff has to go right, but on paper, Davion Mitchell, super underrated, one of the best defensive guards in the East right now. Mitchell, Hero, Andrew Wiggins, Khalil Bam, and Khalil Ware. I'm sorry, Norman Powell, Andrew Wiggins, and Bam Adebayo. That's a good starting five. And if some of the bench pieces, like if Jaquez and Ware take another step, then I can see them being maybe like a 6 or 7 seed in the East with how weak it looks.
Now, real quick.
Apparently they're not trading Wiggins, so
Real quick. With Dame back on the Blazers, we got Drew Holiday as a 6-man likely.
bring him back.
If Dame is healthy next year, it'll probably the starting lineup is probably still going to be Scoot in it with Shaedon Sharp and Advia and Kamara and Klingon. That's probably their starting lineup.
yeah.
But with the depth now, like with Dame back and Holiday and what other bench pieces do they have? That's pretty good.
Chris Murray, Jan Hansen. They still have
They got Hansen.
I'm not
Where-
sure.
Robert Williams.
Where do you see them this upcoming season? In 2 years, they're going to be very good, I think. But this upcoming year, with how difficult the East is, or the West is, excuse me, where do you see them landing? Do you see them? I know, David, you see them as a playing team, but I find that hard to believe. But I just want your guys' opinion. Chris, I'll start with you real quick. Where do you think that the Blazers will be by the end of this year?
When I think about this, I have to think about the teams that are definitively worse than them. And I can really only think of like maybe 2 or 3 in the entire conference that I can say that with. I think the Pelicans are probably still worse than them.
No.
I don't really think there's a debate with the I said probably. We don't know how that team's going to.
For just such a wild card, like because of their health.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. I think the Jazz are definitively worse than them. I don't really think there's much of a debate around that.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Jalen. But
Spurs.
I think the Kings could be worse than them.
Kings will be worse.
Oh man, dude, the West is
sick of everybody bringing them. I'm sick of everybody.
I think there's a chance that the Suns are worse than them, but I think the Suns, all things considered, haven't had a terrible offseason for what it was looking like it was going to be before we got into this.
Dude. I don't think they have a center still.
They drafted Maluach and they traded for Robert Williams.
Oh yeah, they do have Mark
Williams.
You can't put. I didn't really understand that at all because you can't play those guys together at all.
He's a bench piece. He's a good bench piece. I think that's a great developing skill that they'll have for him. Just play him up.
But as if they traded for Williams, and Williams is still considerably younger, so I don't really see a starting path eventually for Maluach unless
Williams just starts shitting the bed, then
he might. Yeah. We haven't seen him on a decent team yet because he's been rotting away in Charlotte this whole time. But back to the Blazers, I can't definitively say that they're better than the Warriors, for example, or the Grizzlies, the teams that are probably going to be around their tier of play-in 8 seed area from my vantage point.
This is cap. This is where David has them. I don't believe this. This is not correct.
I think they're going to be around the 11 or 12 seed. I think they got better, but the thing is most of the West also got better this offseason. Really, the only team that did it was the Warriors. The Warriors didn't do anything, and that's a fault on them.
Very concerning, yeah.
But a lot of those other teams,
Horford, if he doesn't retire,
he's gonna retire. Dude, he's out of here,
dude. No, that's not a needle mover anymore. As much as I despise Al Horford for still being a semi-competent player
for no reason either. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but as much crap as I give the Clippers for being a nursing home, I still think they made some good moves this offseason. The Lakers, I think, are still better than them. The Rockets made some good moves. The Mavericks obviously have Cooper Flag now. I think the Spurs are better than them. The T-Wolves are still better. Denver's still better. I just can't see a path. Maybe they get the 10 seed, but that's pretty much the highest I could see them being.
Right, which I think around there is fair.
What is this, man?
Suns do not have a competent. Well, they are kind of shooting guard university. That's. I don't disagree.
That's a fair point.
I don't. Devin Booker can be a point guard. He's not the greatest, but he can be a point guard.
And in fact, dribble the ball up the court. That is true.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. That's a fair diss. Okay, whatever. But listen. Devin Booker can play the one. Obviously, he's more of a two. I don't think he's a one at all. I think he's a way better two.
I hate Devin Booker.
Dude, I don't get, bro. Devin Booker is the best shooting guard in the league. I don't care what.
Devin Booker is that guy that, I saw a tweet about this the other day. It's there's always that one NBA player that you just irrationally hate for no reason. Devin Booker is that guy for a lot of people.
I don't hate him for no reason. I just think, I can't. I don't want to say why I don't like him on the pod because it probably would get it demonetized. But just that whole thing with Luka and that it's a Luka special thing, and he's just always the guy that he only talks shit when he's up, and then he says something, then he walks away. I hate guys like that. I hate guys like that.
Real quick for you, David, where do you think the Blazers will end up and why? I'll give you to you real quick. I think the Blazers are gonna get 11. I think the Pelicans. If Zion can stay healthy, I know you get at me. But bro, if Zion plays at least 55 games, they are a 10 seed, and that is the greatest they'll get because that team is very good head to toe right now. If they all stay healthy, I think that's
a deep team.
I agree.
Very deep team. They drafted well. They did free agency well. They traded well. Oh my goodness, that team is so good.
I can't agree on the draft thing. I think that trade they made for Queen was the most reckless and stupid thing ever. Giving up an unprotected first. They gave up an unprotected first. They gave it first
Queen, though. That's a good pick.
Derek Queen is a steal at the spot that he's drafted at.
That's a steal right there. Did they steal from you guys?
I'm not. I wanted Sorber more than Queen. I'm not completely sold on Derek Queen. I think offensively he's going to be really good, but he's kind of, I think defensively, he was a liability at Maryland. He was one of the weakest defensive centers in the Big Ten, and he's only 6'9". He's undersized for the position. I I think he's a good player, but the Pelicans have a chance to be really like there's a scenario where they're really good. I agree with you, like you said, roster is really good on paper. It is, but we haven't like Murray's coming off the broken hand. Zion.
That's a good like we everyone forgets about Murray, bro.
I know, but
the thing about that team is health, and it's not just Zion. They were so injured last year. Trey Murphy was like their only scoring option for half the season.
That team is insane, bro.
Herb Jones missed a bunch of times. Missed a bunch of time. Zion missed a bunch of time. Murray missed a bunch of time. I do like their bench pieces a lot. I like Yves Missy. I'm a big fan of Jordan Hawkins too. I think Jordan Hawkins is tough as hell. But the thing is that I'll say why I thought that trade was bad. I do like Derek Queen a lot, but it's not a position. Like I said, he doesn't have a clear path to start. You can maybe put him at the 4, but I mean, if Zion is healthy, like you said, then he's going to be like no more than like the 7th or 8th man off the bench. To give up an unprotected first. That pick next year could very well be a top 5 pick. So if you value Derek Queen that much, I guess, but I thought that was kind of a reckless trade for a position that isn't even going to be like a day 1 starter. But
it might be if Zion's hurt though. That's the thing.
That's
too.
True. That's true.
That's why they got it.
I just don't know. I trust me. I'm a Big Ten like nerd. I watched a lot of Maryland last year. I do not know if Derek Queen is quick enough defensively to be able to hang with NBA fours. Maybe I'll be proven wrong, but he's
strong enough though. That's all that matters.
He's strong enough, but you got to be able to move your feet in the NBA, especially if you're at the 4. And we'll have to see about that. But you're talking about the Blazers. Oh yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, Derek Queen just had surgery. He had surgery on his wrist. So
the season starts in October. They have time to rest him. They don't have to play him right away. But would you consider them, David? Would you consider the Pelicans a winner or loser in the NBA free agency or draft? I meant to put draft as well.
Free agency, I consider them a winner. Draft, I think, is really risky. Free agency, like off season, like the moves they made, yes. But the draft, there's a very good chance, a very real possibility. Zion misses time. Herb Jones misses time. Murray isn't the same player. Poole doesn't take the step on a good team that we think he's gonna. But there's a very real chance that pick ends up in the top 5, top 3 even. I mean, in terms of the Blazers, man, like I think offensively they're going to be really, really good. Scoot and Shaedon, I think, are going to take big steps. We already know that Shaedon can be a 20 points per game scorer. Scoot is, in my opinion, the closest thing as a prospect we've seen to Derrick Rose in like a really long time. Like the athleticism, the handles, the lateral
needed.
I love Scoot.
He's just got to work on his efficiency a little bit.
Oh yeah, I'll take.
Believer,
I am too. I was definitely wrong about Brandon Miller. I thought Scoot was the clear number 2 guy. I was wrong about that. Brandon Miller is tough as hell. Just don't get in a car with him. And
and now we're back to yesterday's topic.
Oh man, we were talking about the just idiocy of these NBA and NFL players. They just don't know they don't know what to do. But Chris.
But yeah, I'll just finish up by saying the whole thing is how good are they going to be defensively. Tumani, absolute lockdown. I like Klingon a lot as a defender, but Shaedon, Scoot, they aren't strong defenders. I think Holiday is going to help a lot with that.
Yeah.
But we just got to see how good they are defensively, and I think that's going to be the biggest thing of them making a play-in push is how good they are defensively.
Chris, I need your NBA free agency winners and losers real quick.
So winners, call me crazy. I got the Milwaukee Bucks. I think they made a lot of good moves this offseason. They got better. They got younger. They went from the 9th oldest to the 13th youngest, which is a big, like, I know the wording is very technical there, but they moved up into the top half of the league in terms of youth, which was definitely their biggest issue the last few years. We saw it, Brook Lopez, Dame, all those guys, they weren't able to keep up. They made some good under-the-radar signings. They got Gary Trent back. They got Kevin Porter back.
How did you guys get him back for like $7 million? He's good.
He's dedicated, man.
He likes Milwaukee.
City.
That's a W.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Kevin Porter's on a decently affordable contract. We got Cole Anthony on an affordable deal now.
Like that Cole Anthony move.
He's
Say
not
what
there
you
yet.
want about Torian Prince. He can hit a couple threes here and there if you need him to.
You lost me with Torian Prince,
You
but
lost
the
me,
other
bro.
three are
You
good.
lost me, bro. Kick him to the curb, bro. No good.
All right. Fair enough. But he's a 43% 3-point shooter. So if you need him in a pinch, he can provide. They still have Giannis on the roster as of right now. Not to mention they got the biggest splash in all of free agency with Miles Turner. Now, how much better this makes them, I don't know, because the East is so wide open. We don't really know. I still think they're a winner, though. But my loser is just because of inactivity. We talked about them already. The Golden State Warriors.
Absolutely.
They did nothing
They are
all
not
of free
doing enough
agency.
stuff.
Jimmy and Steph are not getting the send off that they deserve from Golden State. Steve Kerr, I think, is kind of on the back end of his coaching career too.
They got this whole Kuminga situation as well, which apparently
that's a mess right now.
all the way into like the end of the summer.
I think if Steph can't do his carry job anymore, like he was able to do against the Rockets this year in that series, there's a realistic way that the Warriors miss the playoffs next year. And that's really sad because they have two of the greatest players of our generation, and being able to or sending them off that way is just wrong.
Vucevic for Kuminga, man. I'm dreaming about it. I need it. I need it, man.
I don't think Vooch should be a terrible addition specifically or for the Warriors because he can shoot the three ball. He fits in that way, and he grabs a lot of rebounds. Not a good defender, and we know that.
They want Al Horford, though. I mean, Vucevic is basically white Al Horford, but he's a little bit younger.
Al Horford is still, believe it or not, a competent defender, though, if you think about it.
That's crazy.
He's never been. Brooke Lopez was always able to feast on him for.
Vooch is a traffic cone, but like
Vooch versus Lopez was like stoppable force versus movable object down there.
It was rough.
But like, yeah, I don't know. I think they're my biggest loser in free agency so far was definitely the Golden State Warriors, specifically because they did absolutely nothing to address their issues.
I would have to agree with the loser. Unfortunately, I have to say the Warriors. Even though my favorite player of all time is on that team, they're not doing right by him right now. So they're automatic losers. I think the biggest winners, though, in my opinion, real quick, is the Houston Rockets. I don't know what the hell. I don't know where all this money came from, but those guys, they stacked up on everything. And
Jalen Green was making a decent amount of money they got off of. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess, but like, dude, it just kept coming. They just kept signing people. I'm like, dude, okay, like this team is serious. They really want to push.
Like 4 centers now.
Right. Yeah, they're my bona fide winners of this free agency, in my opinion.
I'll throw one more out there. They're not as big. I think the Rockets are bigger winners, but I think the Denver Nuggets are huge winners.
Yeah,
they turned Michael Porter Jr. his money into Cam Johnson, Tim Hardaway Jr., Jonas Valanciunas, and they got back Bruce Brown. Those 4 guys combined are making less money than Michael Porter Jr. is next year. That is insane. I mean, Bruce Brown was a huge part of their championship title in 2023. Tim Hardaway Jr., a good, he's not really a defensive wing, but he's a good 3-point shooting wing. Played a role in the Pistons' resurgence last year. Valanciunas, crazy to say it, but probably the best backup center Jokic has ever had. He's gonna be a good piece, especially since Deron Holmes is still coming off of that ACL tear last year, their first round pick last year, and then Cam Johnson slots right into the 3, basically does what Michael Porter Jr. does, a little bit less athletic, but a much better shooter, gonna fit in a lot better. I like that a lot. I like what the Nuggets did.
Jalen says Nuggets to the finals next year.
I mean, the thing is, the Thunder still retained everybody. I got 2 more losers.
They went to 7 games, though, man. That's the toughest part about it all, man. I don't know. Real quick, guys. 1 sentence, final thoughts. 1 thing, real quick. Go ahead.
I'll do my losers really quick. 2 other losers, Boston and Indiana, but because of injuries and just the fallout from that.
Yeah. Go ahead, David.
I'm really, really excited for the I know we didn't really talk about it, but I'm really, really excited for the start of training camp. Get to see everything. I got my fantasy draft coming up a little bit. I got the 3rd overall pick, and I've been going back and forth between Hunter and McMillan like you would not believe.
You guys started early, man. I respect that. I might start mine pretty soon. That's a good reminder. But
this is speaking of them. This is a put up or shut up year for Trevor Lawrence. If Trevor Lawrence can't perform with Hunter and Brian Thomas as his wide receivers, he's
and a
done.
good running back room too.
Hey, I got my final thought. This year, Justin Herbert, MVP season. You're counting it. This is Shout Out Sports, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us today. Subscribe and like, please. We love you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for watching. David Pollier and Chris Pittman. I'm Naz Chris, and we're out.